Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about a viral infection, that is dengue. So let's start. Dengue is a mosquito borne viral infection. What does borne mean? It means it is carried by. As the vectors included are mosquitoes, it is mosquito borne viral infection. And the virus which causes dengue infections is known as dengue virus or dengue virus, and it belongs to the family Flaviviridae. And these dengue virus have 4 serotypes. Namely, they are dengue virus 1, 2, 3 and 4 respectively. So it is possible to a person to be infected 4 times by 4 different serotypes in his complete lifespan. And next, dengue virus infections are ranges from subclinical to lethal complications like severe dengue. So what does subclinical mean? It means no symptoms or manifested. It is mostly found in tropical and subtropical regions of world, and mainly in urban and semi-urban areas. And now let's discuss what are the vectors that transmit dengue virus. So the vectors belong to the species Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus. So Aedes aegypti is considered as primary vector as it is vastly distributed, and Aedes albopictus is secondary vector. And this is considered as primary vector in case in the region where Aedes aegypti is absent or less in number. So Aedes albopictus is highly adaptive and it is mostly found in colder climates. Next, what is the peak time of bite? So it is early in morning or dusk, which is evening before sunset. So only the female mosquitoes can bite. So these female mosquitoes lays eggs and search for water, because water is very necessary for hatching of eggs. And these eggs without water can be viable for several months. And one more thing, Aedes aegypti and as well as Aedes albopictus not only causes dengue, but also these are vectors for viral infections like chikungunya, yellow fever and as well as Zika virus. Now let's discuss about the incidence of dengue virus. So vast majority of cases are asymptomatic, which means no symptoms are present, or mild or self-managed. So the actual number of dengue virus infections are underreported, but approximately 390 million infections per year. So the incidence is 390 million infections per year worldwide. And among this, 96 million cases or infections are clinically manifested. It means these 96 million cases only shows the symptoms, whereas remaining those are asymptomatic or mild or self-managed. And in these 390 million cases, 70% of the cases are contributed by Asia. So Asia is the widely contributed continent. So now let's move on to the transmission. So how does the dengue virus is transmitted from human to mosquito or mosquito to human? So when a mosquito bites a dengue virus infected person, the virus is ingested into the mosquito, and in the midgut the virus replicates. From there on, the viral particles or the virus move on to the secondary tissues like salivary glands, etc. And from there on, it infects a new host. Actual transmission. So the time period from where ingesting the virus to the actual transmission to a new host is called as extrinsic incubation period. So extrinsic incubation period, normally it is 8 to 12 days, but it depends upon the initial viral concentration, viral genotype, and as well as temperature, etc. So once mosquito is infectious, it is capable of transmitting virus for its rest of life. Next, let's look at maternal transmission. So it is evident that dengue virus infection can be transmitted from pregnant mother to the fetus growing in her womb. So, and the complications which occur to the newly born baby are low birth weight or preterm birth, and also fetal distress, etc. Now let's look at the signs and symptoms of dengue. Signs and symptoms. So usually the symptoms last for 2 to 7 days. After an incubation period of 4 to 10 days. So after the incubation period of 4 to 10 days, the symptoms last for 2 to 7 days usually. So now dengue is categorized into two types. Those are dengue with or without clinical symptoms manifested, and severe dengue. So let's discuss one by one. In case of dengue, Dengue should be suspected when a high fever, it means like 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit, accompanied by two following symptoms. So let's look at the symptoms for normal dengue. It can be severe headache, vomiting, rashes, pain behind eyes, nausea, and muscle and joint pains, and the last one is swollen glands. So the dengue is suspected when fever is 40 degrees Celsius, or it means high fever 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and including two symptoms of these. Now let's look at severe dengue. So the severe dengue is a critical phase that is about 3 to 7 days after onset of illness. So critical phase which is about 3 to 7 days after onset of illness. So this may include plasma leakage, organ impairment. So let's look at some symptoms. The symptoms included are severe abdominal pain and persistent vomiting or blood vomiting, persistent or blood vomiting, rapid breathing, and restlessness and fatigue, and also includes bleeding gums. And one more thing, during the critical phase, the fever drops below 38 degrees Celsius or 100 degree Fahrenheit. Point to be noted. Now, let's look at the diagnosis. So, how does dengue is diagnosed? So, there are two ways, which is virological methods, which detects the elements of virus, and the second method is serological methods, which detects the human produced antibodies in response to the dengue virus. So it detects the elements of human produced antibodies which are produced in response to dengue virus. So now let's discuss virological method. So it includes reverse transcriptase, polymerase chain reaction, and it needs specific lab equipment along with technicality, and it is not present in all of the or most of the medical facilities. Whereas there is another diagnostic test for the virus produced NS1 protein. So the diagnostic test will look for the element or the protein NS1. It can be done in 20 minutes and it does not require any specialized equipment and technicality. No specialized equipment and technicality. So it is far easier than reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. And next move on to the serological method. So in case of serological method, it is done by enzyme link immunosorbent assay. So the full form is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. So in this case, this test detects for the human derived immune components that are produced in response to virus. So those are IgM and IgG. So we all know that IgM antibodies are developed in less time. So these IgM antibodies are indicative of recent dengue virus infection. So by the ELISA test, we can look for IgM and IgG antibodies which are produced in response to the viral infection that is caused by dengue virus. So when we look or detect IgM antibodies, it is indicative of recent dengue virus infection. So it is mostly produced in first week of infection, and it can be detected or present in the immune system for about several months, mostly 3 months. And whereas in case of IgG antibodies, these takes large time or long time to develop. So it remains in the body for many years, and it is an indicative of past infection. So when a serotype of dengue virus infects a person, then the person develops lifelong immunity for only that specific serotype. If it is like serotype 10v1, dengue virus 1, then he only develops lifelong immunity for dengue virus 1, but not for dengue virus 2, 3 and 4 respectively. Now let's look at the treatment for dengue. So there is no specific treatment. The fever reducers or painkillers along with maintaining body fluids to be taken, and paracetamol or acetaminophen is best option, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs should be avoided, like ibuprofen and aspirin. These are avoided because these are anti-inflammatory drugs. So they work by thinning blood. So as the dengue infections are with the risk of hemorrhage, so using non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs may exacerbate the prognosis. And in case of severe dengue, medical assistance is mandatory. Medical assistance is mandatory. So now let's look at the prevention and control. Prevention and control measures. So the best way to control the dengue infections is to control vectors like Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus. So let's look at that. Preventing mosquitoes mosquitoes by accessing egg-laying habitats. As water is mandatory for the hatching of eggs, mosquitoes search for water habitats. So we have to prevent mosquitoes by accessing egg-laying water habitats and covering, emptying and cleaning of water habitats which are domestic on weekly basis. And in case of outdoor habitats, we have to apply appropriate insecticides to the outdoor containers. So, what are the personal protections we have to take? Window screens, applying window screens and door screens, and also mosquito repellents which are applied to skin. So, repellents and likewise etc. And wearing full clothes. So by wearing full clothes, the skin exposure to the mosquitoes is reduced. And educating the communities to participate in active vector control, and also the essence and the cause of mosquito-borne diseases. And let's discuss a very important thing about the platelets. So normally the platelets count in our body ranges from 1.5 lakh to 4 lakh. Whereas in case of dengue and severe dengue, it will be reduced to 20,000 to 40,000. So it causes thrombocytopenia. So what are the reasons for the reduction of platelets? So the reasons are: dengue virus damages bone marrow. So the platelets and all other blood components are produced from the bone marrow. By damaging the bone marrow, the platelets newly forming of platelets is arrested, and it also affects the platelets and the blood components which are wandering in the blood as they come to protect, and blood components. And also dengue virus can generate antibodies which can destroy the platelets. So these are the causes for the reduction of platelets in the body. So this is all I got for this video. I hope you like this video, and if you have any suggestions, please do drop in the comment box.